Mark chapter 8. During those days, another large crowd gathered. Since they had nothing to eat, Jesus called the disciples and said to them, I have compassion on these people, for they have been with me already for 3 days, but they have nothing to eat. If I send them hungry, they will collapse on their way back, because some of them have come from a long distance. The disciples and said, but where in this remote place can we find enough food for us to feed them? How many loaves do you have? Jesus asked. 7, they replied. He told the crowd to sit down on the ground. When he had taken the 7 loaves, and he broke the bread and gave thanks, and broke them and gave to his disciples. Gave them to his disciples to distribute them to the people, and they did so. They also had small fish with them, and he also gave thanks and he distributed the fish to his disciples, and told the disciples to distribute them to the people. The people ate and they were satisfied. Afterwards, the disciples were able to pick up 7 basketfuls of broken pieces were left over. About 4,000 people were fed. About 4,000 were present. He got into the boat with his disciples and went into the region of Dalmanutha. The Pharisees came and began to question Jesus. To test him, they asked him for a sign from heaven. He sighed deeply and said, why does this generation seek for a sign? Truly I tell you, they will not get a sign. Truly they will not get a sign. Surely no sign will be given to them. And he left them. He got into the boat and crossed to the other side. The disciples had forgotten to bring bread with them, except for one loaf of bread that they had left in the boat. Be careful, Jesus warned them. Watch out for the east of the Pharisees and that of Herod. They discussed this with one another and said, it is because you did not bring bread. Aware of this discussion, Jesus answered them, why are you talking about having no bread? Do you still not see or understand? Do you not have heart? Is your heart hardened? Do you not have eyes to see or ears to hear? And don't you remember when I broke the 5 loaves of 5,000? How many baskets full of pieces do you pick up? 12, they replied. And when I broke the 7 loaves of bread for the 4,000, how many basketful of pieces did you pick up? They answered, 7. He said, 7, they replied. He said to them, do you still not understand? They came to Bethesda, and some people brought blind men and begged Jesus to touch him. He took the blind man by the hand and led him outside the village. Then he spit on the man's eye and put his hand on him. Jesus asked, do you see anything? He looked up and said, I see people. They look like they're walking trees. Once more, Jesus put his hands on the man's eye, and his eyes were open. His sight were restored, and he saw everything. And he said, don't even go and Jesus sent him home saying, don't even go into the villages. Jesus and his disciples were going to the village of Caesarea Philippi, and on the way, he asked them, who do people say that I am? And they replied, some say John the Baptist, others say you're Elijah, and some still say you're one of the prophets. But what about you? Who do you say that I am? Peter answered, you are the Messiah. Jesus warned them not to tell anyone about him. He then began to teach that the Son of Man must suffer many things and be rejected by the elders and the chief priests and the teachers of the law, and then he must be killed and after 3 days rise again. He spoke plainly about this. And Peter took him by the side and started rebuking him. Then when Jesus turned and looked at his disciples, he rebuked Peter. Get behind me, Satan, he said. You do not have in mind the concerns of God, but rather the concerns of man. Then he called the crowd to him along with his disciples and said, whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves and carry the cross and follow me. Whoever wants to save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for me, and the gospel will save it. What good is it for someone to gain the whole world yet forfeit their soul? Or what can anyone give in exchange for their soul? If anyone is ashamed of me and my words in this adulterous and sinful generation, the Son of Man will be ashamed of them when he comes with his Father's glory with holy angels. Amen.